Hello to all the lovely people of the world's two nations, United States and Canada. And you know what? Let's sprinkle in a couple of more. Maybe Finland, Sweden, all of them. Welcome to a show called What Chaos on Wednesday, February 19th. It is presented by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code What Chaos and get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. My name is David Bean. I am sitting next to Pete Blackburn, and across the room is Sean DePaz. Hello, Mr. Sean DePaz.
Hello. You left out Germany.
Germany.
The fifth watchingest country of What Chaos. I don't know what the verbiage
Sean
is there.
took a look at the analytics yesterday. So Sean is letting us know that we are not that big, but sizable in Germany.
Yeah, and four nations were facing off, but four nations were also listening in.
Yes. Our top four countries were the four countries of four nations. And then number 5, Deutschland.
Are the four nations in the room with us right now?
3 of them are. We got jerseys of 3 of the teams.
Yeah, but we also have a
3.5
Sweden-colored jersey of a Swedish player.
That is true.
Sorry to say, though, all but 2 have been sucked off.
That is true.
That's right. It's USA and Canada in the final, as we first reported last night. That was some new information. Pete, could you tell the folks what's on the show today?
Absolutely. Today on the show, a show called What Chaos, we have the latest on Quinn Hughes, because what the fuck is going on with that whole situation? It has been a real roller coaster ride over the past 24 hours. Immediately after we did basically a whole show on Quinn Hughes yesterday, it was like, oh, maybe he's not coming. Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Tyler Yaremchuk is also going to join us. He's from Canada, and he likes Team Canada. So we'll discuss the final and what his feelings are. And then third, we have storylines. That's not how that's spelled.
Yeah, it says store lines.
Oh.
That's a me one.
Store lines are long at the pro shop at the TD Garden. We'll discuss that later on.
Why didn't you? You still haven't gotten a Quinn Hughes jersey. Are you waiting to know for sure if he's playing?
Quinn Hughes still hasn't gotten a Quinn Hughes jersey.
Fair.
And finally, we're going to draft the players remaining in four nations. So we're going to have a draft between the 3 of us. We'll draft a starting lineup of players from the United States and Canada, and we'll see who comes up with the best team, the best starting lineup. That should be very exciting.
Yes, we got a lot of stuff to do today. And before we get into the Quinn Hughes and all the Charlie McAvoy drama, I do need to mention that tonight, the first part of a Four Nations doc airs on NHL Network and Sportsnet. And it promises the opportunity to relive the thrilling moments. This is not an ad. It sounds like I'm doing an ad, but there's going to be a thing. There's a behind-the-scenes thing they're showing the first part of tonight. It includes the first meeting of USA-Canada before the rematch of the game tomorrow. 2-part documentary. And then there will be a second part on Sunday, March 7th. I didn't care about this, but now, like all things Four Nations related, it better be good.
Yeah, I'm not going to kick it out of bed. I just kind of have somewhat of a distaste for the immediacy of a lot of documentaries these days. It's like relive the memories of the game from 5 days ago. Okay.
I mean, it's more of like a behind the scenes kind of thing. Like you just watched. I would rather watch it when it's fresh. Like, you know,
I don't know.
The copy that they wrote in their little promotional thing does use the word relive.
Yeah. That very much seems like a, hey, remember this thing?
I mean,
yeah,
if it's just like a highlight
ago.
package, then yeah, they can kind of go fuck off.
So with the Luigi, when I logged on to whatever it was, fucking my smart TV, and there's like a Inside the Man, a documentary on Luigi Mangione.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you even have a documentary this
It's like,
quick?
that
Same
should just
thing
be
with-
on the news, dude.
Same thing with P. Diddy, like right after he was arrested.
You're always watching like Inside the Man videos.
What is that?
What's going on here?
Could go either way.
Suggesting you're watching porn.
Okay,
You're a porno fiend.
that's right.
Yeah.
I'm an American.
Yeah. You fire up your TV and there's a thing saying, hey, let's go inside the man right here. And you say, it sounds like porn to me.
All right.
Pete talks about porn a lot. It's very, very disgusting. Let's do the Quinn Hughes and McAvoy drama. I think the McAvoy thing is actually sneaky more spicy than the Quinn Hughes thing, but
No,
the
it's
Quinn
not.
Hughes thing is more important.
No, the Quinn Hughes thing is spicy and stupid. The McAvoy thing is spicy and sad.
They're both very spicy. Let's try to sift through the latest on Quinn Hughes. So, as we said yesterday, he hasn't played since January 31st due to an undisclosed injury. Mike Sullivan, in his avail yesterday, that said that Quinn Hughes was on the way, that he was coming, that he was going to join the team. Hughes had traveled to Vancouver from New Jersey this week and practiced yesterday afternoon with the Canucks, which was like kind of curious. He said after practice, I think the plan was just to see how my skate went today. I feel like I felt pretty good. I mean, the rules are the rules. I can't play unless anyone else gets injured, and I obviously don't want to see anyone get injured. So yeah, I think that's where we're at. Emily Kaplan tweeted this morning, the latest on Hughes was that he had just traveled to Vancouver and will not make another cross-continent trip to Boston unless he's going to play. He plans on skating in Vancouver again today, Wednesday. Believe all USA players outside of McAvoy are good to go, but things change fast in this tournament. Yes, they do, sister.
Yeah.
They change very fast. So the latest, per all those things, is that he's seemingly still in Vancouver, which is not amazing. And then you have from Dan Rosen, Quinn Hughes is still an option to be an emergency D for Team USA here in Boston. U.S. General Manager Bill Guerin said they're working through it with Hughes. It's a fluid situation, but remember, the only way he would be eligible to play is if another D got hurt or ill. And then there's a little more, but the link goes too long. The U.S. has 6 healthy D. What do you make of all of it? What do you determine to, or what do you think working through it with Hughes means? Do you think that means they're saying, dude, just fly here. We can't say for sure if you're going to play. Wink, 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 wink. Just fly here. Get on a plane.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that's what it is. Because, like, what do you have to work through? He can't play unless another defenseman, and we did get clarification yesterday that, like, it has to be a defenseman. You can't, like,
Lame.
kick Vincent Trocheck in front of a bus and be like, okay, Quinn Hughes, come on down. It's got to be a defenseman. And, like, what could you have to work through other than just being like, trust us, Jake Sanderson is not going to be okay tomorrow.
You mentioned throwing Vincent Trocheck in front of a bus. All of these solutions to
Hypothetically.
What's that?
Hypothetically.
All of the solutions to needing somebody to be injured or sick very much discount why players actually miss games. They usually don't miss games because they've been poisoned or hit by cars, although famously that did happen earlier in the season to a Canadiens player.
Mhm.
Everyone's solution to all this is like, make this guy almost die. You don't need to do that. Just needs a boo-boo. That's why players miss games. Jake Sanderson needs a boo-boo. Doesn't need to be poisoned. Let's just clarify that.
Okay. Yeah. And my other takeaway was what a weird 24 hours or so for USA's leadership group just kind of saying shit that they didn't need to say. Bill Guerin went on Fox News and was like, Donald Trump, we'd fucking love to have you. Come on down. You are our inspiration. You are the wind beneath our wings. Play Freebird. And then Mike Sullivan, following day, it's like, oh yeah, Quinn Hughes is coming, and he is coming hard. And everybody was like, wait a second, maybe not.
Yeah.
What a weird 24 hours for just saying shit.
Do you think we see Quinn Hughes in Boston within the next, we'll say, 30 hours?
I hope so. I just feel like you can't keep talking about it if you're like Team USA and not get him there. It feels like a weird undersell, right?
Yes.
It's just going to end up being a very weird reflection on USA in this tournament now at this point if Quinn Hughes isn't playing in the final. And I have no idea how we got to this point where it's going to be weird if Quinn Hughes, who was ruled out before the tournament, doesn't end up playing in the tournament.
Yeah, I think, and I said it yesterday, I think Mike Sullivan just may have tipped his hand a little more than he should have.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird.
He didn't know at that point that there were still more hurdles to go. And I think that a lot of people, whether it's the Bruins, the McAvoy stuff, like it seems like this tournament, because it's all new and we're making up the rules as we go along, have been saying things lightly out of turn.
Yeah.
So there's been just the whole media participation of it all on the side of countries, on the sides of teams, has been a little unusual. I got to take a quick little time out. Sean, what's going on with the chat?
I have no idea.
Something happened in the chat and people are like mad.
No, I think people are being dramatic. You got Canadians in here being like, "Go Canada," and then people are being like, "Bad chat's being bad today."
Just be on good behavior.
Yeah,
be kind to one another. Talk your shit, but do it respectfully and politely.
And to the people who say that cancel culture doesn't exist, this is what cancel culture like actually is. It's like I don't want this thing here, so just get rid of it. As long as no one's being an asshole, do whatever you want. Just be nice.
I haven't seen anyone being an asshole. We do have our old friend, Final Boss from the Stanley Cup Final last year.
I am worried about that.
He's back. He definitely got under some people's skin, and I think that's kind of what's going on. But he has not done anything inappropriate or across the line. He's just talking his shit as a Canadian fan, and I can respect that.
Rock on, brother.
Okay, everyone be nice to each other.
Do you think that like the injury situation is a stain on the tournament? There hasn't been many stains on the tournament, but like the drama around and the stupidity around the injury situation from both Canada and US over the course of this tournament has been a little bit of a stain, in my opinion.
I don't think it's been a stain. I just think it's been new because we never have to worry about this with All-Star games. Like mid-season players going too hard and getting themselves injured. As we'll talk about McAvoy in a second. McAvoy didn't suffer his injury from playing too hard. McAvoy suffered his injury from somebody taking a cheap shot at him.
Yeah, but I mean more like the way that the injury rules have prevented. Some of the Harley having to peek out through a door to find out if he could skate with the team. Like Quinn Hughes would be here skating with Team USA if he was allowed to skate with Team USA and practice. You brought up the point yesterday, like maybe he just stayed in Vancouver to skate with the Canucks, which was weird from an optics standpoint after he was announced that he would be joining Team USA. But maybe he stayed in Vancouver or went to Vancouver so that he could actually participate in a team skate, which he wouldn't be able to do here until somebody got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, unless he was going to come here and skate with like BU kids or something like that. But practicing with your team seems like a pretty good controlled environment for him, especially when he's wearing the non-contact jersey. I had a point on injuries and I lost my fucking train of thought. We are so goddamn tired. Join us at Hurricanes tomorrow. We're going to be doing a fun little game preview thing, and it's going to be awesome if you are in Boston. Shit, what was I going to say on... Oh, my thought through this also, why did Quinn Hughes have to bow out of the tournament? Couldn't he have just said, oh, like, he's day-to-day, gone to the tournament, been day-to-day, and then when he's not available to go because he's day-to-day, then they can bring in these guys that aren't allowed to really practice with the team, and you keep the possibility of once Quinn Hughes can play in a game, he plays. That is an area where, unless someone can point out to me something I'm missing, that maybe was an oversight on USA's part.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was he couldn't play. It was that Vancouver did not want him to play.
And also, like, even if he's day to day, you're essentially in the same situation because you're going to have to replace him, and then he can't practice. Otherwise, you're going to be playing like a man down.
No, I mean, I think that you could.
No, because like they like Jake Sanderson wouldn't have been able to be a part of the team if they didn't replace Quinn Hughes with him.
Yeah, they would have just had to go with the 6th healthy D, and if anything happened,
I don't know.
But if anything happened, they could just do
but I don't know if you would have been able to start the tournament with a guy who is on an injured list.
Yeah, like
you would have
been practicing a man down.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he wouldn't be on an injured list. He would just be day to day.
But that's what I'm saying. And then you would be
basically, you would be essentially out a defenseman. But because he's out, you could just get somebody to do the thing where they're standing around the corner and they're not practicing with the team and they jump in. And it's a risk. It's a trade-off because that person's not going to be able to practice regularly with the team. But it keeps you with the Quinn Hughes card up your sleeve.
I don't understand.
I just think ultimately it comes down to Vancouver not wanting Quinn Hughes to be part of this tournament, and I'm sure they still probably don't want him to be part of this tournament. But when it's 1 game versus 4 on the table, and Quinn Hughes has seen what this tournament has been and is probably begging the Canucks to let him go, I think that maybe that's what made them cave. But yeah, they didn't want him to play, and it wasn't like he couldn't play.
There's plenty of problems with the rules, but one thing, like, I don't understand why, if he is an injury replacement, why they aren't just like Sanderson was clearly an injury replacement for Hughes. Why are they not allowed to just be like, he's healthy now, so he's back? Like, it shouldn't require an injury from the replacement.
Because he was named to the roster in the first place, he should hold a roster spot if he wants to play.
Yeah, and I mean, I
would like that. I think that's less realistic, though, than what I'm talking about, because he wasn't on the team. Like, they did not... He wasn't part of it. He was initially...
they named him to the roster.
Right, but when everybody showed up with their rosters, he wasn't part of it. So he's just as much on the team as Charlie Coyle is.
But it's almost it's like a Pro Bowl. Like,
really.
You know when players like opt out of the Pro Bowl and then they name somebody else? It's like
you're still technically a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. But it's like if you were initially named, like if Josh Allen was named to the Pro Bowl and he's like, I'm not going to go.
That's exactly what happened.
Here's Drake May. And then Josh Allen changes his mind, is like, I want to go.
Yeah, Drake May should be told to fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I brought this up, what Biz said yesterday. Like, it's a made-up tournament. Why are there any rules to begin with? It's all bullshit. Like, it's made for TV. Just let the best players play.
I agree with that. Let's get to, and we'll keep an eye on anything that may or may not happen during the show with Quinn Hughes. There's more information on Charlie McAvoy, who is a big reason why all this Quinn Hughes, I guess the primary reason why all this Quinn Hughes stuff is going down. The Bruins released another statement, and I want to remind people of that first statement they released yesterday, which was Charlie was admitted to Mass General Hospital on Monday to undergo testing related to an upper body injury sustained during the Four Nations face-off and is currently being evaluated by Boston Bruins head team physician Dr. Peter Asness. He will not play for Team USA in the Four Nations Face-Off Championship on Thursday at TD Garden. The Boston Bruins will provide further updates on his condition and status as they become available. That struck us as kind of peculiar that the Bruins were kind of speaking for him and for Team USA. It had a little bit of a confrontational feel to me towards Team USA. They released an update, a second statement from team physician Dr. Peter Asness. Charlie McAvoy sustained an injury to his right shoulder joint, AC joint, in Team USA's Four Nations face-off game against Finland on February 13th. If you remember yesterday, we were speculating that's what went down. Mm-hmm. He underwent treatment, which was administered by Team USA's medical staff. Upon returning to Boston, Sean did his two hands up in the air thing. Upon returning to Boston, he developed increasing pain, for which he was evaluated by the Boston Bruins medical staff. Yay. After undergoing x-rays, MRIs, and blood work, he was diagnosed as having an infection in his right shoulder, as well as a significant injury to his AC joint. He underwent irrigation and debridement.
Debridement?
You sure?
Debra.
I think so.
I think it's Deborah the Mintz. Deborah! Christopher Mintz-Plasse is here. Procedure at Massachusetts General Hospital on February 18th. He remains in the hospital where he is being treated with IV antibiotics, and his condition is improving. So, I'm kind of struggling reading. And does this strike you as the Bruins maybe being a little... Our guy got hurt in the first game. Mm-hmm. Team USA treated him. He played another game. He's dying.
Yep, it's 4 nations facing off and 2 medical staffs facing off.
Yes, good
And
way of putting it.
kind of part of your conspiracy theory, I feel like Sweeney's probably like, so he was hurt, and then you still let him come fuck us up,
Oh,
and now he's out. Like you couldn't have taken him out before he ruined Connor McDavid.
Don Sweeney's fingerprints are all over this. I don't understand how, because I'm quite frankly lost in my conspiracy theory. I don't even remember what it was to begin with, but it remains still smelly.
But
it still stinks.
But if there's a silver lining here, USA medical staff can't be trusted with its players, which means that there's a precedent for something to go wrong with one of those defensemen in the next 24 hours. Oops, Jake Sanderson has a infection. We accidentally cut him with a dirty knife or something. Oh, Quinn Hughes, come on down.
But just keep him away from Dr. Peter Asness, because he's going to solve the problem.
Right.
Need to call in the former Los Angeles Chargers team doctor.
Maybe,
Yes, that's right.
yes, maybe
Tyrod Taylor.
just work on the. I mean,
Tyrod Taylor's career was fine ultimately.
Well, where Charlie McAvoy's injury sounds like it's in the this-ish area.
Yeah.
Maybe they got to give him a little injection for the rib or something. Just do wrong player.
Oops,
Derek
needle.
Sanderson.
Oops, wrong
Hey,
needle.
let's get that shoulder and that. Yeah. Another part of that season, by the way, is Justin Herbert got a horrible haircut.
Yeah, it's true. He just shaved his head.
I blamed
he
the
let a
medical
coach shave his head.
Yeah, right? Didn't? Yeah. So that Chargers had a bad year with sharp object and players. So the little Bruins versus Team USA thing bears watching, as does the Quinn Hughes thing, and tomorrow's game bears watching. I'm talking about USA versus Canada in the Four Nations final, and when I watch a game, it's like having a meal. And you know what a good accompaniment to a meal is? A nice glass of wine. And that's what I call Prize Picks. It's like the glass of wine that accompanies the meal that is the game. It is my favorite place. And really, I'll be honest, the only place I will DFS, because you can get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Put another way, you can 1,000x, brother. I ain't talking about that group. Sean, you listen to them? 1,000 Gex? You seem like you would.
I do not, but
They had a song in NHL.
they had a song in NHL that was quite good.
What do they call it? Is it called hyperpop is the genre?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, you want a hyperpop, you could watch $10 turn into $100. That's just 10xing. But it can do way more than that with Prize Picks. And they now offer MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. They also invented Flex Play. That was them, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So download the app today and use code WhatChaos to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code WhatChaos to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
We got a lot more offers on Prize Picks for the Four Nation final, by the way.
Really?
We got Connor Hellebuck. What's that?
The board's growing.
Board's growing. Connor Hellebuck still at 27.5 saves. Jordan Binnington, 26 saves.
Unlikely.
Right. I feel like he's probably given up.
He's gonna get pulled.
They're gonna have 30 shots on goal and he's gonna give up 4.
Can we any hits yet?
Hits? No. We have goalie saves, shots on goal, assists, and points.
Okay.
Once hits get on there.
I'll be thinking about my board and my lineup over the next 24 hours.
Should we announce our board at Hurricanes?
That's a good idea. I like that idea.
Zach Growinski, 2 shots on goal. Just saying. I like
easy.
Well, if you're ready to optimize your nutrition this year, Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes. So you can feel right and fuel up great, no matter what life throws at you. And if you're lazy, you don't like cooking, you've had a long day like we've had a lot of days this week, Factor's perfect. You just get home, pick a delicious meal, pop it in the fridge, 2 minutes, you're ready to go. You can't beat that. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active and busy lifestyle. You can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor keto meals. based off a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will vary depending on diet and exercise, but hey, it's proven that it'll help you lose some weight. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. You can choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or, as we mentioned, Keto. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfast, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons.
Their
not
smoothies
just
are
lunch and
so
dinner.
good. The smoothies are genuinely
I
so
have
good.
had the smoothies. They are tremendous. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. We use Factor. Sean loves the smoothies. I love the meals and how easy they are. And DJ, he's like a chef. He's such a snob. He still likes Factor, but he buys
buys the
hard work.
premium ones. So like if you go, they have like some premium selections where they're like, here's a filet mignon you can have heated up in 2 minutes. That's what DJ's doing.
Yes.
That's right. If you want to eat smart with Factor, get started at factormeals.com/whatchaos50 off and use code whatchaos50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's an insane deal. 50% off your first box plus free shipping with code whatchaos50 off at factormeals.com/whatchaos50 off. Again, 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
We've been at Hurricanes for all this Four Nations stuff. And by the way, all of our Four Nations stuff is presented by Bauer, our dear friends. We love you so. Daily Face-Off and Oilers Nation, that whole gang, they've been at Banner's Kitchen and Tap, which is right near the Garden. And they have been doing an incredible job. So to get a Canadian perspective, let's go remote. We just taped this right before we came on here. Let's go remote and chat with our guy, Tyler Yaremchuk. Sean, hit it. I texted our next guest last night saying, hey, buddy, let's talk some hockey. Come on the show. Nothing. Didn't get anything back. An hour later, my cousin texts me and says, hey, I'm gambling at Encore, and guess who I ran into? Some dudes from Edmonton. They're so nice. They're having a blast. Hi, Tyler Yaremchuk.
Damn, caught red-handed. But like, talk about what a small world moment. We're just like sitting with this guy, and he heard us talking about how we were like, "Oh man, we're losing American money right now. Like, this is our retirement savings and Canadian funds." And he was like, "Oh, I have a cousin who does a hockey podcast." I'm like, again, totally small world thing.
That's incredible. Holy shit! You lose a bunch of money last night?
I wouldn't say a bunch of US dollars, but again, the conversion just kills me down here. Like I was talking to you guys before, I went and got Dunkin', and I'm like, man, a coffee and like a breakfast sandwich is like $22 Canadian after you convert it. It's insane.
Oh my goodness. Well, we do have the Canadian team playing the U.S. in the final, and we've mostly been talking to Americans, which feels like a very Four Nations-y thing to do. Everyone's getting very tribal and territorial. How do you feel as a Canadian, my friend?
Excuse me. Sorry,
He's
just had a random coffee
like the
there.
team. Nice.
Damn. I really did put that one on a tee for you guys. But no, I feel good about this. I think Canada, again, it's going to be a razor-thin game no matter what. And I guess if I could explain why I'm nervous as a Canadian hockey fan, if the margin's going to be super thin and the forward group is close and the blue line's close with McAvoy out, then Connor Hellebuck can be a difference maker, and I fully expect him to be. Like, goaltending will play a massive role in this game, and what I've been kind of thinking from a Canadian perspective is like, man, they can't really play this to be a 2-1 game. Like, I think they're going to need to find a way to beat Connor Hellebuck 3 or 4 times, and like, that makes me nervous. I don't know if they'll be able to beat Connor Hellebuck 3 or 4 times.
I want to ask you, this is something I've been wondering about for a few days at this point. Like, what do you consider the real, true stakes of this game and this tournament? Because like 2 weeks ago, we were wondering if anyone would care. And at the end of the day, it's still kind of a watered-down tournament, very small sample size. With the USA win on Saturday, like, where does this put Canada in terms of the stakes on this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough, right? Because it is really just for bragging rights and for pride, which, I mean, that is, in air quotes, a lot to have on the line. And we've seen how hard the players have been going. But, like, I don't know, does winning this, it is best on best hockey. So does it give you the moniker of the #1 country in the world going into the Olympics? I guess it kind of does. So, like, that's the stakes. Like, I really, as a Canadian hockey fan, do not want to sit here for the next calendar year and hear American hockey fans be like, aha, we beat you. Like, that's really what's on the line here. So again, it's not an Olympic gold medal. Who knows how we'll look back and view this tournament in 10 years or 15 years or 20 years or whatever. But for the next year, this is the chance to sit there and kind of puff your chest out and be like, we're the best in the world.
Unless they lose, in which you get to play the card of Mickey Mouse tournament. Russia wasn't there. No one really cared about this that much. It's very cool that you guys tried, correct?
I don't think you can even, like, I'm sure people will pull that card, obviously, but like you can't really do that when you see what went down last Saturday and how rocking the Bell Center was. And I'm sure TD Garden's going to be at a similar level on Thursday night. But like in the moment, everyone cares. It's all anyone wants to talk about right now. So it'd be kind of cheap if, like, again, you lose and you just kind of go like, Mickey Mouse. Like, no, I mean, this in the moment, this does not feel like a Mickey Mouse tournament at all.
I want to tie you into a conversation that was going on the radio in Boston yesterday with the whole Charlie McAvoy thing. Bruins are a fringe playoff team. He's now week to week, and there was a lot of question of, hey, should they be doing this tournament at this time? Should you be wanting your players to be in it? And the host, who's a pretty smart man, said, I bet if you asked people in Edmonton right now, and Edmonton is actually good, like they should win the Stanley Cup if all goes well. If you ask them, hey, do you want Connor McDavid going out there, risking injury, playing as hard as he's playing? They would say, yes, still, because they're so into it. Do you feel any sort of trepidation watching this tournament, seeing stars get hurt, knowing that you cover the team, that if their star gets hurt, it really can come crashing down?
Yeah, I mean, I totally see that line of thinking, right? Where it's like, man, if a superstar player blows his ACL and is done for the rest of the season at this tournament, that's a problem. And it could, obviously, with the Oilers, it would kill their Stanley Cup chances, right? But then there's the other part of me that goes, if they were just playing regular season hockey right now, Connor McDavid could blow at his ACL Saturday, and I should knock on wood as I say that as well. But like he could blow at his ACL Saturday when they play against the Philadelphia Flyers. Like at the end of the day, it's hockey. You can get hurt. That kind of stuff can happen. There was a little part of me when I was watching that game on Saturday and guys were flying around, and I was like, okay, this is actually like really intense. Like the chance of injury is going up, and we've seen it now. Like how many guys on Team USA are considered like game time decisions or game day decisions for that game tomorrow. So there's a little bit of nerves, but at the end of the day, like you're never going to ask Connor McDavid to like, hey man, don't go that hard. Cause remember, we have to try to win a Stanley Cup in a few weeks. Like, I don't know. You're not going to do that. It's hockey. Injuries can happen. And that's, I guess, maybe the downside of doing this tournament in the middle of the season. If you did it in, let's say, September and someone were to get hurt, it's like, okay, you missed the first few weeks, few months of the regular season, then you come back. If you get hurt right now, you're missing like very, very important hockey games down the stretch in the regular season. But I'll also say the plus side of having this tournament now and not doing it in September is like all the attention in the sports world is solely on hockey tomorrow. There's no NFL. There's barely NBA. There's nothing to compete against. Not like you're competing against important baseball games in September or October or whatever. So I think still there's way more upside to doing it when they're doing it versus starting it earlier in the season.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can get hurt doing anything. We had an NHL player hit by a car across the street earlier this season. So anything's on the table. And at least, like, for your case and for Oilers fans' case, your star player is playing for your country. The first thing I thought of yesterday when Quinn Hughes we thought was going to be playing for USA was like, damn, that sucks for Canucks fans because he's their most important player and he's playing was going to play for the rival in this tournament. That is the worst case scenario. And off of the Quinn Hughes thing, how good does it feel as a Canadian kind of feeling like your lineup is set tomorrow? Because there are big question marks for American hockey fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the fact that Cale Makar came and played against Finland is like, okay, deep breath, sigh of relief. Like we know the blue line is going to be relatively set now, and there are no injuries up front. And I guess that's kind of an interesting factor heading into this hockey game is like Canada should be 100% ready to go. And like, if Matthew Tkachuk plays and if Austin Matthews is 100% and there's all these ifs, it's like, what are you going to get out of them? Are you going to get the same juiced up, fired up players that you had on Saturday? Or are they going to be in a little bit more of, I don't know, call it survival mode for this game? So yeah, I mean, health is a really, really big factor.
What's your confidence level in Jordan Binnington? And two-part questions are bad because only one part of it usually gets answered. But be honest, how did you feel in the final 100 seconds of that game against Finland?
Well, confidence level in Binnington, I guess I can start with that. I don't know, scale of 1 to 10, I'm maybe like a 5. I'm kind of doing like the glass half full, glass half empty thing where I'm like, okay, he hasn't played a great game yet in this tournament. Okay, he hasn't played a great game yet in this tournament. Maybe he's kind of due for one, right? It's like me last night at the roulette table when it was black, 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 black. I'm like, come on, we're due for a red here at some point. But like Jordan Binnington, eventually he would have a good game. If you kept the Four Nations face-off going for a month, he would play a good game at some point. Maybe tomorrow's going to be that good game, but the fact I'm going through this mental exercise really does say a lot about the confidence level in Canada's goaltending. You're just kind of like crossing your fingers, being like, boy, I hope Jordan Binnington pulls something magical out of his ass. But the other part of that, how nervous was I in the final 100 seconds? Yeah, I was kind of shitting my pants. And you know who else was probably shitting their pants? It was Gary Bettman and all the executives who were going, oh my God, are we not going to get the Canada-USA rematch? Is Finland really going to screw us over?
That is true. I hadn't thought about that, but I think everybody wanted USA Canada. Do you think Binnington is the guy that is facing the most pressure heading into this game, or is it perhaps like a Connor McDavid who has a history of not doing great in a seventh game winner take all for a championship? I'm just saying,
easy.
Are you kidding me? I agree to do this show and you're throwing out shots like that. But no, like I think it is Binnington because, you know, let's say Connor McDavid doesn't have a great game, plays bad. Like, okay, maybe Sidney Crosby can pick it up, or Nathan McKinnon or Cale Makar, or go through the list of the stars on Canada that could pick up the slack for Connor McDavid if he plays poorly. In net, if Jordan Binnington plays bad and they need to pull him after the first period because they're down 3-0, like, that's it. Wrap it up. It's over. I'll start my drive back to Montreal where I'll be flying home from. I'll start it early because this thing will be toast if Jordan Binnington doesn't bring close to his A+ level.
A thing I like about you, we talk about teams a lot. You're a players guy. Like when you're previewing these, you'll be like, they got this guy and I love this guy. Who has jumped out to you in this tournament that is maybe added to your list of players where you're like, ugh, get me that guy on the Oilers one day?
So that's funny you say that because yesterday one of the big debates we had with Louis DeBrusque on Oilersnation Everyday is there's 2 local Edmonton products playing on Team Canada. Colton Parayko from the suburb of St. Albert, which is also where I'm from, so shout out to St. Albert, and Brandon Hagel, a product of Mornville, Alberta, which is another suburb of Edmonton. I asked Louis, I said, if you could press a button and magically put either a Brandon Hagel or a Colton Parayko on the Edmonton Oilers, which one would you hit? And like, I've been really impressed with Colton Parayko. I think that's the guy. Like, I would love to see him in an Oilers sweater one day. A big right shot defenseman, plays physical, but he moves so well for a guy who's 6'7". You know, I don't watch a lot of St. Louis Blues hockey out of spite because I refuse to show them any form of support after the offer sheets. But like, I would love to see Colton Parayko in an Oilers jersey, and I've just been so impressed with his game. Like that Morrissey-Parayko pairing. They didn't have a great start against Sweden, but I feel like they've gotten better. And I would honestly say going into this game, they're Canada's most important pairing.
Colton Parayko still got it. And an important thing about him, you know what he is?
Canadian.
He's a fucking moose.
He is a moose. Yeah, he almost killed JT Miller.
Yeah. So. Well, that was JT Miller's fault.
That was definitely JT Miller's fault.
Don't fight Colton Parayko.
The long list of things that have become JT Miller's fault this NHL season.
You know what, though? JT Miller might be my guy that I like more as a result of this tournament. I mean, like, I couldn't love Zach Werenski more, but my respect for him has still somehow gone up. But JT Miller, since he's gotten off the Canucks, I think I've just been like, you know what? I'm Team Miller on that whole thing. Maybe it's because he's not on the Canucks anymore.
There are 3 guys to me that I feel like have like raised their profile. That Dylan Larkin, Adrian Kempe, and Nico Mikkola have been 3 guys that I've been very impressed by in this tournament. But I don't know.
Good call on Larkin.
There's also a few guys on Team USA that you're like, when are you gonna show up? And they got one more game, and their big guns haven't made a lot of noise. Like a Jack Hughes, you'd like to see a lot from in the final. A Kyle Connor, what's that guy done this tournament? Adam Fox, not very good, even though a lot of people saying he's injured. I don't know. Like, who have you seen or who have you been impressed by on USA that maybe you didn't particularly know ball about heading into this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, you guys touched on Zach Werenski. Like, I think he's got a sneaky shot at winning the MVP of this tournament. I think he's like 4th or 5th on the odds board right now, but like he's got the numbers. And let's say, again, no Charlie McAvoy. If Zach Werenski were to go out in a final tomorrow and have a couple of points and play like 28 minutes or something crazy, like maybe he has a shot at that MVP. I think if the U.S. wins, it'll likely go to Hellebuck. But Zach Werenski coming into this is a guy who I looked at and was like, okay, not to disrespect anyone on the Columbus Blue Jackets, but he's now getting a chance to play. I know, but he's now getting a chance to play with like this whole, this team full of superstars, and as like a puck moving defenseman whose offensive instincts are so good. I was really excited to see what he could do with it. And I had high expectations, and he's absolutely blown them away. One guy I've been disappointed in is Jack Hughes. I was, again, talking about just, okay, you're going to put him with some shooters and with some really high-end playmakers, and he's just kind of been a ghost for most of this tournament. So on the disappointing end, I've been like, man, I had way higher hopes for Jack Hughes. He was a guy who I had at the start of this season as like a sneaky Hart Trophy candidate, but he's been really disappointing in this tournament. Werenski's been the one who's really stood out in a good way. And I mean, you mentioned Dylan Larkin. In this tournament, having guys who can accept and buy into like a good bottom six role and play that role comfortably, and be someone who goes from playing 19 minutes a night or whatever with the Red Wings to, okay, now you're only playing 12-13 minutes, but how can you be effective in those 12-13 minutes? He's done a great job, and it actually ties into like another thing to bring it back to Team Canada, I guess. They got Brad Marchand on their third line, call it, and Mitch Marner on their fourth line. And those are two star-level players who really haven't done a whole heck of a lot. Mitch Marner had the good moment against Team Sweden, scoring the overtime winner, but he hasn't had a good game yet in this tournament. If one of Marchand or Marner can come through and just have, even call it a really great period and score a big goal for Canada, it'll go a long way in getting some production from the bottom six.
I'm glad you brought up those two names specifically, because one person who has impressed me or shown better than I'm used to seeing recently is Mike Sullivan, just confirming that when he has a bajillion good forwards, he wins. And when he doesn't, he loses. Who knew? Where does your arrow point with John Cooper? Because we've kind of made a face at the Marchand of it all, of like, Marchand's not doing much, but he's also not playing much. And for a team that certainly doesn't have the like strong, gonna push you around identity that the United States has, they still do have guys who can mix it up, mainly Marchand, and they don't seem to be leaning into that much. So how do you feel about the coaching decisions?
I was going to say, just the adjustments that you've seen Sullivan make versus the ones that Cooper has made. I think there's clearly a coaching advantage heading into this game. Whether that carries for USA, we'll see. But I haven't been impressed by what John Cooper's been able to do in terms of mixing and matching and finding a spark.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, look at the USA's first game against Finland. That game is tight. He throws the Kachucks together, and it's like, boom, that adjustment right there paid off immediately. And you look at Cooper, he had Connor McDavid with Mitch Marner for basically 2 full games. It was like the first 5 periods of the tournament, and it was clear through 2 periods that it obviously wasn't working. So I do think he waited a little bit too long to make that adjustment. And then it almost, in a weird way, looked worse on Cooper, in my opinion, when he put Braden Point next to Connor McDavid and it instantly worked. And it's like, dude, Braden Point is your guy, Cooper. How did you not at some point through all of this be like, I wonder if my best centerman from Tampa Bay could work with the best player in the world? Like, how could you not piece that together? But he eventually did, so you give him credit for that. But I mean, he's gotten some flack too for the goaltending decision. It's like, okay, in hindsight, should you have given Aiden Hill that start on Monday against Finland and seen if you could have caught lightning in a bottle with him? Maybe that was like a no downside move, giving him that start. So there's been a few questionable decisions. Nothing I think that's like really hurt their chances in any game. But the one thing I'll be watching for from Cooper in the finals tomorrow is, how often will he go nuclear? It's the term we always use in Edmonton when you put all your stars on one line. But like, how often will we see Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon? It's come out a little bit like after a penalty kill or at the end of periods and things like that. But I wonder if maybe we don't see it for like a consistent 10-minute run at some point tomorrow.
I don't know if we've ever discussed this guy on either of our shows or in friendship. I was hesitant to gush about Matthew Tkachuk too much because I don't want to hurt Oilers fans' feelings. I'm an Oilers fan. Matthew Tkachuk obviously broke my heart. You are an Oilers fan and a Canadian, so I must ask how you feel about him and if you agree with our sentiment that, love him or hate him, and I do love him, he is just truly like an A-plus ambassador for hockey.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, again, I don't like the guy. It goes back to the Battle of Alberta days and the turtling with Zach Cassian, all of that. Like, in my fandom, there is a long line of moments that have made me just despise Matthew Tkachuk. But also when I sit and go on Twitter and I see the people talking about hockey who have never really talked about hockey before, members of the national media, people like that, and they're talking about how much they love the Tkachuk brothers. It's like, yeah, that he's a prototypical hockey player. Like, he's everything you want in a superstar. He's vocal, he's loud, he's out there. He'll say something that gets turned into a headline. So listen, I can understand he's great for the sport, and that image of him and his brother dapping each other up in the penalty box is like an absolute all-timer. Like, that, put that photo in the Hockey Hall of Fame. But as a Canadian hockey fan, and as you said, an Oilers fan as well, absolutely, I despise him.
All right, who do you got winning this game?
Oh, man, I really, you brought me on here to be a good Canadian, so I will do exactly that. I will say Canada finds a way to beat Connor Hellebuck a handful of times. They're up 4-3 late. Sidney Crosby seals it with another empty netter, and they win 5-3.
Before we let you go, last one for me. What do you think of Donald Trump? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. We'll let you go. Sorry, Tyler.
Is my mic still working? Yeah, okay, we're good. All right, thanks, boys. I'm very happy to be leaving on that note.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, buddy. He's a troublemaker. He said, "What do you think of Donald?" I thought, "Oh, this is gonna get a little crazy.
Gonna get juicy.
It's gonna get. Hey, that's what we do. We bring the juice on this show." Thank you to Tyler Yaremchuk. Check him out on Oilers Nation every day. It's the best show.
Big Trump guy.
Big. I don't know.
He told us off air.
Yeah, he said I didn't have enough time to talk about how much I like that guy. Ever seen Home Alone 2? He was good.
Said the Pete's the smartest political guy on the show.
I have seen people. I think that like hockey Twitter has just decided for some reason that Trump is going to be at the game tomorrow.
Yeah, it may have been because Bill Guerin, GM of Team USA, was like, please come to our game.
He said that to Quinn Hughes.
That's true. Well, I think it sounded like Mike Sullivan might have begged Quinn Hughes.
No. Who was it? Was it Rosen who said that Guerin's working with Hughes, trying to get him over here?
Who's to say?
Yeah. Okay. Well, this game is happening with or without Quinn Hughes. Okay, buddy. So after we're probably gonna go back to Hurricanes after the game and cook a little bit, and everybody can follow along there streaming. It's gonna be a blast. What are we going to be talking about? How is this thing going to shake out? In just a few minutes, we are going to draft the best rosters that we can make from the finalists in Four Nations, but we want to run through some potential storylines that might emerge from this game. Pete, do you have any? You want me to kick it off?
I'll let you kick it off. I have a few, but
okay. I think one is when USA wins, will Connor McDavid come back out to get his watch?
That's probably not, I would guess, because this is not a whole event MVP. It's a game MVP. So if Connor McDavid's the best player in the game, I'd imagine he's also accepting a different trophy.
I don't know. Connor McDavid is usually the best player in the games that he loses.
You also got to remember, this isn't like the Stanley Cup. They do all this with both teams on the blue lines. So the real question is he going to step forward and take it? Or is he just going to be like, I don't know who you're talking about.
If he's there, he's got to accept it.
So
not leaving the blue line would be bad behavior.
I did know that was part of it, that they will be out there. I thought the possibilities were game's over, he hits the room. He's out of there. I come here to play hockey. I don't come here to stand around. Do you want someone to stand around? That I could give you a list of guys on, I don't know, what team do we want to pick on? But there's a lot of guys who stand around. I ain't one of them. The other thing is he could stay on the blue line because famously after Game 7, he wasn't going to leave his teammates.
That's what I was going to say. Famously, he did stand around while everyone else got off the ice. So if his teammates are standing on the blue line, he kind of has to stay there and wait.
Is Connor McDavid a follower now, you're suggesting? He just sees what his teammates...
He leads from the back of the pack.
Yeah. Isn't that a thing that happens in rowing?
I don't think so.
Isn't that
the
sled racing?
Coxswain thing? I don't remember.
The
Coxswain?
Coxswain?
Something like that. They
Coxswain.
stand at the front.
Yes.
And they face the rowers.
So after the game, we'll be talking about what rowers are called.
Yeah.
That's right.
Niche sports.
I have, if USA wins, will Jordan Binnington ever play for Canada again? Because, like, you'd imagine if he doesn't have a good game in this tournament and Canada has a mess of a situation for goaltending, is Jordan Binnington ever going to get the nod again?
I was going to bring that up, not necessarily specifically on Jordan Binnington, but I do wonder what guys are, because like a lot of people were talking about how this is kind of an audition for the Olympics. How many guys have maybe played their way out of the Olympics next year. And I think, yeah, if Binnington shits the bed, I think he's going to be hard to turn to him, especially if like the management isn't being assholes and like, Logan Thompson, you are pretty good. We are going to bring you along this time.
I got a fun one. Road teams are undefeated in championship games in which Brad Marchand plays. And usually Brad Marchand is helping the road team win. He helped the Bruins win the Stanley Cup final in Vancouver.
Oh, true, yep.
And he's my guy forever. I love him. He'd probably tell you this himself. Kind of helped the St. Louis Blues win Game 7 in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Only mistake he's made in his freaking career. And it's just at a heartbreaking time. Yeah, I'm sure he's made some mistakes. But the biggest mistake, it sucks. I feel so bad for him. But the point stands.
Mm-hmm.
Marchand plays championship game. Road team wins. That's good for Canada.
Hasn't the road team also won every game of this tournament?
Yep.
Like technically,
crazy.
Difficult thing to keep track of, given like there's no real home team other than Canada and Montreal and USA in Boston.
Well,
but apparently, like the road team is 6-0.
It's the assigned road team. Yeah. So like if Canada had ended up with more points somehow, like they would have been the home team here, despite being in the United States.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
just, again,
US should have
very
lost the game.
difficult to keep track of.
You got one?
I guess they did.
I do. If USA wins, does Mike Sullivan increase his job security in Pittsburgh, or does he become a hot commodity that gets pried out of Pittsburgh?
Great question. I think at the very least, Mike Sullivan becomes he'll get scooped up guy.
Really?
And I think that he was going to be he'll take a little break and he'll kind of assess things, maybe work his way back. I don't think that he would have to do like the Bruce Cassidy, Dan Bilesma thing where you work your way all the way back up.
No way.
Which shout out to those guys for doing that. But I think people will say, you give this guy some star players, he can win.
Mm-hmm.
Does he maybe get a Chicago job?
I mean, I would look at perhaps hometown. Coaching his son-in-law.
I loved him as Bruins head coach. I was so mad when they fired him.
I mean, it would make sense. And like, if he wants to get out of Pittsburgh, they don't fire him, maybe he just finds a way to leave.
This is my favorite one. Bit of a war going on right now between the Bruins and Team USA.
Mm-hmm.
Will Boston boo the national anthem?
One of them, at least.
Boo both anthems?
Oh, shit. No, I mean, like, will Boston boo the Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah. I got it. But, like, what if they just end up booing both anthems?
They're probably going to, I'll be honest, they're probably going to boo the Canadian national anthem, which is not great behavior.
But it's fine behavior.
Shocked. It's less fine behavior than the Canadians booing the anthem, in my opinion.
Correct.
But it's still, I mean, it's what do you expect? If you're going to boo the U.S. anthem,
oh, yeah,
that's how we're going to respond every time.
Absolutely.
Does it make less sense?
You hit somebody, you're probably getting hit back.
Yeah. Even if you deserve to get hit in the first place.
But do Bruins fans boo the Star Spangled Banner because they got Charlie McAvoy more injured by having him play against Canada? If you're a true Bruins fan, you get out there and you boo that anthem.
Terrible behavior. Got to put the flag above the crest.
Tell you who'd be all sorts of pissed and really confused.
Brad Marchand.
They'd boo the Canadian national anthem because it's sung first, and he'd be like, "Come on, guys. Come on, Boston. We're better than this." Then it goes into, all right, I'll bring out Todd Angeli. Boo! And he's like,
the only person booing Todd Angeli will be Ray Ferraro, who is working the game. So.
I do have to shout out, Todd Angeli's anthem the other night was good. It was without the organ, and it was nice. I liked it. Good job, Todd Angeli. Now he's just got to fight Jordan Binnington. You have any more? Those are my big three.
I also have, which place will Jordan Binnington feel unsafe after this tournament? Because it's going to be Boston, or it's going to be all of Canada.
I don't think that Jordan Binnington deserves any flack he would get from Canada because all he has done is try his hardest, and he's not very good. It is Canada's fault for not having better than Jordan Binnington.
Famously, when Canada's national team does not live up to expectations and loses in international tournaments, their fans react very rationally and very politely towards the players who tried their best.
Yes. They are
You're right.
lovely people. Is that it for storylines?
That's all I got for right now. But if you got any, feel free to send them our way. If this happens, then will this happen? Let us know.
Yes, throw it in there. And now let's do a great way to preview any sort of big game is to like draft the players, whether you want to combine the teams and say, okay, which basically way would you rank them? We're just going to do the old-fashioned teams. We're each going to draft a 6-man team, 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, a goaltender. Although, maybe you could just go, oops, all defensemen if you want. Who knows?
I mean, you could. It wouldn't be a good strategy.
Don't strategy shame until you see it.
Sean, do you want to prep a wheel to decide who goes first?
I could have done that earlier.
And are we doing a snake draft?
Gotta do a snake draft.
Gotta do snake draft?
I mean, we can choose who goes first in a different manner, but I figured the wheel would probably be the easiest and most
first, second, and third.
Solution.
How about this? Winner of the first spin picks which number pick they get.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Because I would argue that the first pick is not always the best pick.
Correct. You say what did you say? Second or third?
Probably. I like having the back-to-back picks personally.
All right.
Let's see.
Let's spin that wheel for first selection here on this draft process.
Or first selection of
draft pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spin that wheel for all of us.
Yes, please.
Let's see. Okay, first pick is me. I will take the first pick.
Wow.
I want number 1.
Okay, so now
get back-to-back picks at some point.
Are we spinning for next choice?
Yeah.
Again, we'll do that, okay? Let's do it. We are spinning. I'm picking third,
Dave.
baby. I'm picking third.
Well, everybody gets their pick because Sean likes the second
No, I
pick.
wanted the third pick.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. Okay, with the first overall pick, I am obviously going to take Connor McDavid.
Okay, I'm writing these down, but you can too, Sean. Yeah,
I am writing them down.
Okay, killer.
Connor McDavid playing down the middle. We're only doing a starting lineup, so 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie.
Yeah, and they got to be U.S. Canada.
Yeah, I'm taking them off the board. I'm going Connor Hellebuck.
Connor Hellebuck off the board.
I want the one good goalie.
All right.
Wow. Okay, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely set you up with something beautiful here.
With picks, numbers 3 and 4, welcome to the team. Matthew Tkachuk.
Wow, that's not where I thought you were going.
And Nathan McKinnon.
All right.
Wow.
I mean, if you didn't take Nathan McKinnon there, you'd be crazy.
I mean, I was going to take, McKinnon really is the third pick, but, identity-wise, I'm saying that my first pick is...
okay. Fair. I respect that. Not bad.
I don't know what I want to do here. Give me... I feel like I got it. I'm going to go Cale Makar.
Cale Makar? Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I'm building you're not scoring on my team.
I really like what you've allowed me to do here.
Pete's got back-to-back.
I do. I have back-to-back, and I'm very excited about it. I will take Sidney Crosby and give me Zach Werenski.
I was really hoping you were going to do that because I was going to have quite the deep air there. Okay. I guess I should probably draft a forward at some point. Give me. Should I just? I was going to say, should I draft all Americans? But I guess I've already kind of blown it there. Give me Jack Eichel.
Ooh,
I don't hate that. Good player.
All right.
It's getting to the real interesting parts.
Yeah.
Yes, it sure is. I mean, I need to take a defenseman at some point. But
are you guys considering handedness and stuff here too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've considered it.
By the way, we are not including Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, that's a good thing to mention. Who you got?
Damn, I want to take so many more forwards. Okay, I am going to take... Austin Matthews.
All right.
Fair.
All right.
Austin Matthews. And now I have one more pick. And with that, I will select. I mean, really, I got my pick of the litter defensively. And
Except for the 2 best defensemen.
yeah, so fuck. I think I want this guy, and I just don't think he's going to make it back to me. So do I? Fuck it. I'm taking Jacob Slavin.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
I was
guy is
deciding between-
lockdown.
What's
as
that?
Lockdown
Yeah.
gets. So deciding between him and who?
Someone who's still there, so I guess I shouldn't say.
Yeah. I'm gonna just do it. Give me Devin Taves. I'm gonna go the real D pair.
Devon Taves. So who's you got Kale and
I've got
Devon
Cal
Taves?
and Taves, and then I've got Jack Eichel and Connor Hellebuck. You're not scoring on my team. I'm telling you.
Okay. I will take Mark Stone to round out my forward lines. My forward line. And then I got to decide on a defenseman here. I need ideally you'd like a right shot D. Man. Who do I want? You know what? Give me Colton Parayko.
Oh, wow.
All right. I need wingers. Give me. I feel like I got to take him just based on the tournament. Give me Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah. Great. That gives me. These are my last 2 picks. So far, I've got a forward line of Nathan McKinnon between Matthew Tkachuk and Austin Matthews.
It's pretty good.
Defense, I've got Jacob Slavin and Noah Hannafin.
Okay, on his offside.
They're both lefties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought about Hannafin, but I decided to take Parayko.
Hannafin
instead.
can they both could play.
Yeah.
Right. And my goaltender is Jeremy Swayman.
All right. So who's so Sean, you have one more pick, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have to pick another winger. I feel like I should just do this based on the tournament he's had. Give me Jake Gensel.
Oh God, yeah.
All right.
Gensel making it to the second to last round, or is that the final round for you?
That was my final pick.
Wow.
Yeah, I like my team.
And finally, for my goaltender, Jake Ottinger. So funny that all 3 U.S. goalies get picked and not a single goaltender from Canada.
Yeah. So to run down it,
Yes.
DJ has Matthew Tkachuk, Nathan McKinnon, Austin Matthews, Jacob Slavin, Noah Hannafin, and Jeremy Swayman. Pete, you have Mark Stone, Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Zach Werenski, Colton Parayko, and Jake Ottinger.
Mhm.
I have Brady Tkachuk, Jack Eichel, Jake Gensel, Devon Taves, Cal McCarr, and Connor Hellebuck.
You got a good team. I
You're
think
not
that
scoring on
I
my
honestly
team.
feel like my team might be the weakest, and I have Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid, which is crazy.
I think that my team could be the best, and then I look at either yours and I say that I think both of yours could be a little better than mine.
I'm
think
very interested to see what people will think of these lineups and who has the best one.
I think my team just kind of bullies your 2 teams. I think I have the best defensive center of the 3 of ours. I have the best defense of the 3 of ours. I have the best goalie of the 3 of ours. I just I might not be putting up a lot of goals. I think I'm winning a lot of 1-0 games.
I mean, your first line is still awesome.
Oh, I love
It'd be impossible to not have a good first line.
Yeah.
Eichel between Brady Tkachuk and Jake Gensel rules.
Yeah,
That's got everything that you could
team.
want.
I
Two-way play, a little sandpaper.
Like, you're not scoring on my
touch.
team, and then Jake Gensel is going to light it up. I love my team. I like my team a lot.
You know what? I think I got the best line though. McKinnon, Matthew Tkachuk, and Austin Matthews.
But it depends on how much you're basing this on this tournament, because Austin Matthews been a ghost. All of my guys,
not been a ghost. He's been very good defensively.
Fair enough, but all of my guys, with the exception of obviously, I guess, Cal McCarr, because he was out for a game, or not. I mean, not really an exception, but he was out for a game. Like, all of my guys have been pretty freaking good in this tournament.
And Pete's got chemistry on his first line. McDavid and Stone together, and then Sidney Crosby wouldn't kick out of bed. I love that you have Zach Werenski.
Yeah, that is very nice.
That's right.
Amazing. Okay, well, we've got lots more to do on this whole dang tournament as it wraps up. Tomorrow, we will be at Hurricanes. We're going to be there, I believe, from 4 to 7:30, getting you ready, doing a little show, having fun, shaking hands, kissing babies. Then we're going to head over to the game, and it's going to be an absolute blast. Stick with us, because we will be back streaming after the game, hopefully for us, celebrating a USA win. But no matter who wins, this thing should absolutely rock. Pete, could you tell the folks to do some stuff on their computers?
I would like to do that. I would also like to acknowledge we got a super chat during the Tyler interview. So KPG says, every team gave it their all. Sweden didn't lose in regulation and was an inch from the final Four Nations rocks. That is true.
That is true. If Finland had completed that comeback, Sweden gets in.
I mean,
they would have still
assuming that America was playing as hard as they could during that final,
and assuming that Finland didn't win in regulation.
Yeah,
because
but
if Finland won in regulation.
No, but I mean,
if Finland had won in regulation, Jordan Binnington needs to be cut from the NHL.
Right? Yeah, they had like 30 seconds to score 2 goals, which
not out of the question
at the Garden can happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything's possible
in a big game at the Garden. So, also, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that. Hammer that button. We would very much love your subscription. Costs you nothing, and you get all of our stuff. Also, hit the like button right below the video player. That is the thumbs up button. And if you're on audio, please leave us 5 stars, a nice, kind review if you can do so. We very much appreciate your support, no matter how you give it to us. Thank you so much.
Talk to you tomorrow, friends. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.